Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. Next match, Cross-Banlist Cup. So back again at the upper part, left side of the bracket, the top two decks here on the left side. Both these decks are from a very similar age, very early synchro age that is. So we have Frog FTK, one of the, I guess, most consistent FTKs ever in this game's history, simply because back then, like 2010-ish, 11-ish, early 2011, I think as well, that, the amount of hand traps back then weren't too, there weren't too many, but they weren't too relevant. The DD Crow, as you see here in the side deck, pretty much was one of the few, actually. I'm not sure if Failure was already released. I don't think so, otherwise, obviously it would have been there. Speaking of Failure, it's definitely in for Tengu Plant. And, Valor is of course superb against the potential substitute, so we don't, need to explain why these potential hand traps could be very important here in this particular matchup. So I'm looking at Maxi, I'm looking at Valor, right? It speaks for, themselves that these are fantastic in this matchup. So go second, and that's not good, especially because if Frog FTK goes first, I can stop it with Maxi and Valor, but if you open none of them, it's hard, right? But again, okay, couple of turns into the duel. And not a great opening of Frog FTK. Multiple Frogs, there is a potential Giant Tornado, which can definitely be important here in this situation to clear the potential back row, plus the deck needs Mass Driver and Substitute, right? Plus, well, something, I guess, to tribute for. And I believe here in this situation it was perfect to use Dark Hole, right? To, clean both fields, plus getting the Sangan Search. And, it would have been very delicious if I set the Call of the Haunted previously. But yeah, Judgment, we see that there is not really a follow-up play, but I think we have to, right? Especially because of the Solemn Warning set, and like if there is a potential heavy storm draw, or I don't know, something to destroy the back row, there is still the Formula Synchron play to go for Black Rose. So again, that's, fantastic against Substitute FTK or, Synchro dot deck, since again, Frog FTK has the capability to pump up a couple of Synchros if they have access to Fishborg Blaster. So this should be my duel. There should not be Gores. Nope, Gores wasn't the case. In case of Frog FTK, if I'm not mistaken, maybe side deck, right? If you side decked, like when you're going second, you might want to side deck in your Monarch engine, right? Like Light and Darkness Dragon, Brain Control Cyber Dragon to go for like full beatdown. This opening hand is a bit iffy. We see the FTK, well, not the FTK because Mass Driver is not there, but again, Poison Draw Frog could let you draw some cards, potentially draw hand destruction right after you milled like your entire deck. But Maxi again helps out simply because Valor, you have the capability, or plans have the capability to draw into Valor to stop a potential substitute. So, you don't want to give Tengu plans too many draws, especially because of that. The thing is that, like, what are you ending on? Like with that hand, I guess you just... But it wouldn't have mattered, right? That's the thing. You can, like, accept the Maxi challenge for, like, a little bit, maybe pump out a couple of Dupe Frogs and, like leave it like that and hope that Tengu Plant cannot answer that. But let's face it, like, Tengu Plant is a huge toolbox deck that has access to multiple, Synchros, Econ, Dark Hole, Torrential, multiple cards to clean that, that potential full field. So go second, and I opened DD Crow, and that's okay, especially because DD Crow was side deck back then, but here in this case it didn't really matter that much. We know that Ronin Totem was a 2-off back then, and okay, I could like DD Crow one of the Ronin Totems, but against Substitute not being once per turn, Mass Driver wasn't, oh no, Mass Driver was there, yeah. If it wasn't for Mass Driver, then, the game definitely was still there. I mean, they can like pump out, as you saw in like multiple other matches, multiple Dupe Frogs, maybe a Uni or a Flip-Flop to, get control with those Frogs, right? Potentially thinning the deck and to draw into Fishborg Blaster or a Mass Driver. So I think I passed, but multiple Maxis, Valors are there. I just let the deck summon multiple monsters, right? So I can get those delicious draws, and hopefully eventually I'll be drawing into an out, and that out is there, Dark Hole. So I can finally Valor the Substitute. I'm not sure if Was the deck able to OTK? I think so, because I think there's a Fishborg Blaster in the graveyard, right? I think so. You know, with Swap Frog, Bounce, etc. you can replenish your hand and get eventually Fishborg on the field as well. So my hand is kind of, I'm not going to say weak-ish, but I mean, it's strong. This is, you know, obviously this is game. I even cited Debunk, right? Who remembers that card, Debunk? When, what is it? Your opponent activates a card in the graveyard. It's a counter trap as well, I think. Then that card is getting banished. Plus all the names in, you know, in like the deck or graveyard as well. It's very similar to this card, Chain Disappearance. And I'm not sure why, because Chain Disappearance was already set. No? Why I didn't use it on Rodent Totem? Maybe I forgot. I remember. It's there. And this is my duel, right? Once set, it's not going to matter too much. My Glow Bulb is indeed going to get crowed, and I think I have to go for it. If it's a dupe frog, then whatever. I can deal a little bit less damage, but if it's not like one of the weaker frogs here in this case, I think it was a 3-bone frog, I can, you know, just freely attack for a game. So some not so good hands from Frog FT. Well, game number 2 and 3. I mean, Maxi was there, Veiler was there, so, you know, those hand traps were just so important here in this particular matchup, right? Might also be one of the reasons why Substitute is back in the current format, so speaking of 2022. So back to the bottom part, we have 2 Titans. Ooh, True Draco Zodiac, Masterpiece Zodiac versus a title, well, a winner of one of the previous Cross-Banlist Cups, even though it was, you know, a slightly different list, but Adamant Sapater. So which deck has this one? Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a card or like if you enjoyed the video. Litum signing out. Peace.